You know that feeling, right? The bitter taste in your mouth when someone betrays you, the slow burning anger when you're treated unfairly, the cold hard knot in your stomach when a hurt is inflicted and it just sits there, waiting. Your first instinct, the most human instinct, is to hit back, to make them feel what you feel, to balance the scales with your own hands. We call it justice, but let's be honest, in those quiet moments, it feels a lot like revenge. You imagine the scenarios, the perfect comeback you should have said, the way you could expose them, hurt them, tear down what they've built. You play the movie in your head, and for a moment, it feels good. It feels powerful. But then the movie ends, and you're left in the dark of your own mind, with the same bitterness, the same knot, only now it's grown, because you've been feeding it. You've handed the keys of your inner peace, your happiness, your precious mental space over to the very person who hurt you. They are gone, living their life, and yet here you are, holding their poison inside you, thinking it's your weapon. Stoic philosophy and ancient wisdom from thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus offers a radical, almost shocking alternative. It asks a simple, devastating question. Who is more harmed, the person who was wronged or the person who carries the wrong, nurses it, and lets it distort their soul? The Stoics realized that the true injury is never the first blow. The true injury is the second blow, the one you inflict upon yourself by your reaction. When you are consumed by hatred, you are not punishing them, you are punishing you. You are burning down your own emotional house to try and give them a smoke signal. It doesn't work. So if revenge only harms us, what do? We sit with the pain and we begin the smartest, most profound destruction of our enemies imaginable. And it starts not with an action, but with a realization. Your greatest power is not in your ability to strike back, but in your ability to redefine what a strike even means. To them, a strike is to cause you pain. But what if you change the target? What if the you they are trying to hit is no longer there? Think of a sculptor. They take a hammer and chisel and strike a block of marble. Their intent is to break it, to shape it by force. But what if the marble could transform itself into water? The hammer swings, it passes through, and the water simply flows back together, unchanged, no crack, no mark, no shape imposed from the outside. The sculptor is left swinging at nothing. This is the first step, becoming uncarvable. It is understanding that your worth, your character, your peace is not defined by another person's actions. Their words are just sound. Their betrayal is a reflection of their character, not a verdict on yours. This is not about suppressing anger. It's about witnessing the anger, feeling its heat, and then consciously choosing to not let it build a permanent home inside you. You feel the sting, you acknowledge the unfairness, and then you say, "This hurt is real, but it stops here. It does not get to travel further into my future." This is where the real work begins, because now you are not fighting them, you are fighting the version of yourself that believes you need their suffering to be okay. You are dismantling that idea, brick by brick, and in that dismantling, you are destroying the most potent weapon your enemy has, your own expectation that they should be the one to fix your pain. You start to live well. Not as a show, not to prove anything to them. That's still giving them the audience role. You live well for you. You pour the energy you were spending on plotting and ruminating into building something, a skill, a healthier body, a deeper connection with people who value you, a quieter mind. You become so focused on your own path, your own growth, that the noise they create starts to fade into a distant, irrelevant sound. And here's the secret they never see coming. This focused, calm, untouchable growth is the anvil upon which their malice shatters. They expected you to be down in the mud, wrestling with them. They expected a fight, a reaction, a validation of their power over you. But you've simply refused to enter the arena they built. You've built a different one, with rules they don't understand. You are no longer playing their game. You are living a different life. This is not forgiveness, not in the sentimental way we often think of it. This is strategic indifference.
It is understanding that the highest form of disdain is not hatred, but irrelevance. When you are no longer governed by their actions, you have taken back everything they tried to steal. You have destroyed their influence over you. And in doing that, you have already won the only war that ever truly mattered, the one for your own soul.
So you've made the decision. You felt that shift. The anger is still there, perhaps, but it's no longer in the driver's seat. You've chosen to not hand over your peace. Now comes the active construction, the building of the new you that is immune to their old weapons. This is where the Stoic wisdom moves from theory into the forge of daily life. This is where you stop merely not seeking revenge and start actively building your unshakable citadel. Because the world will test you. You will see them again. You will hear their name. A memory will flash, sharp and sudden. The old script, the one where you're the wounded victim, will beg to be read aloud in your mind. This is the critical moment. This is where the smart destruction continues. The Stoics had a practice. They called it the premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds dark, but it's profoundly liberating. They would mentally rehearse not just potential future hardships, but also the wrongs others might do to them. Why? Not to live in fear, but to disarm the surprise and the outrage. They understood to be shocked by betrayal, by pettiness, by human cruelty, is to be naive about human nature. It's to expect the world and the people in it to be different than they are. So, apply this. Look at the person who hurt you and silently acknowledge, this person is capable of this. They are human, and humans are flawed, driven by their own fears, insecurities, and misunderstandings. See their action not as a monstrous anomaly targeting you specifically, but as an expression of their inner state. This is not to excuse the action, it is to understand its source, and in understanding, to drain it of its personal poisonous power. When you see the hurt as coming from their brokenness, not your own worthlessness, the arrow loses its force. It's not about you anymore, it's about them. And suddenly, your task changes from how do I make them pay to how do I protect my space from this energy. This is the second, deeper layer of destruction. You destroy the story that says, this happened to me, so it must define me. You rewrite it. You become the author of a new narrative. The chapter titled The Betrayal is not the climax of your book. It's merely the inciting incident that led the hero to discover their true strength. Your energy now becomes your most sacred currency. Every minute spent in bitter recollection, in imaginary arguments, is a minute stolen from your one precious life. It is a direct donation to the person who hurt you. So you must become a ruthless accountant of your attention. When the old movie starts to play in your mind, you don't fight it violently. You simply change the channel. You get up and make a cup of tea. You pick up a book on a topic you know nothing about. You go for a run until your lungs burn and your mind is clear. You call a friend and ask about their dreams. You redirect the energy, physically and mentally, into a channel that nourishes you, not the ghost of the past. And here, we cultivate the ultimate Stoic virtue, amor fati, the love of fate. This is not about masochistically loving the pain they caused. It's about loving the person you are now forced to become because of it. Look for the gift in the wound. Did it teach you discernment? Did it show you who your true friends are? Did it break you open in a way that made room for a new resilience, a deeper compassion for others who suffer, a clarity about what you will and will not accept? That pain can become the compost for your greatest growth. The person you are building, more resilient, more aware, more self-contained, would not exist without that friction. In a strange, twisted way, your enemy has given you the raw materials for your own liberation. They have handed you the chisel. You get to decide if you carve yourself into a monument to bitterness or into a sculpture of strength. This process, this daily choosing of growth over grievance, is a quiet, relentless power.
It has no dramatic confrontations, it offers no satisfaction of seeing them crumble, but it offers something infinitely more valuable, an inner territory that is completely your own, governed by your principles, untouched by their chaos. You are no longer reacting, you are creating, and in that creative act, you are leaving them and the person you used to be when you were under their shadow far behind. They are now a relic of an old world, a world you no longer live in.
And so you arrive here, not at an ending, but at a new kind of beginning. The fire of initial hurt has cooled. The active work of rebuilding is underway. Now we reach the summit of this Stoic path. This is where the final, most elegant destruction takes place. A destruction so complete it looks, to the outside world, like tranquility. It is the destruction of the very concept of enemy. Look at the space you've carved within yourself. It is no longer a bunker fortified against attack. It has become an observatory. From this higher vantage point, your vision clears. You begin to see the person who hurts you not as a monster, but as a fragment of a larger, more tragic picture. They are a prisoner, just as you once were. But their prison is their own inability to act with kindness, their own insecurity that demands they tear others down, their own pain that they project onto the world. This is where the ultimate shift happens. Your goal is no longer to destroy them. Your goal is to destroy the cycle of hurt begetting hurt, pain transmitting pain. You break the chain. By refusing to pass on the bitterness, by metabolizing that poison into fuel for your own integrity, you end their line of attack with you. It goes extinct. You have made yourself a dead end for their malice. The Stoics spoke of the view from above. Imagine pulling your perspective up, up, up until you see your life, their life, the intricate web of human interactions as if from a mountaintop. From here, the smallness of the grievance is revealed. You see the vastness of a human lifespan, the universal struggles we all face, fear, loss, the desire for love and respect. In this vast panorama, that person who seemed so large, so menacing, shrinks to scale. They are just another struggling soul who chose a destructive path. And your fight? It wasn't with them. It was always with the part of you that believed their action could diminish your light. Now you are free, but this freedom carries a profound responsibility. It is not a freedom to forget or a naively trust again. It is the freedom to choose your response from a place of unshakable strength, not wounded reaction. So, what does this freedom look like in the raw, real light of day? It looks like indifference, but of a specific kind, not the cold indifference of not caring, but the empowered indifference of being unaffected in your core. You can be civil, you can be just, you can even, in time, should the situation demand it and your wisdom permit, interact, but you do so from a place of complete inner sovereignty. Their praise cannot inflate you, their criticism cannot deflate you. Their presence no longer triggers a storm inside you. They have become a weather pattern you observe passing by, while you remain in the steady climate of your own character. This is your silent, unstoppable victory. They may never know they were defeated. They may never even know there was a war, because the war was internal, and you have won it. You have taken the very stone they threw at you, and with the patience of a master craftsman, you have used it as the cornerstone for a stronger, wiser self. You have destroyed the power they held over you by realizing it was never real to begin with. It was a power you loaned them in your own mind. You have destroyed the narrative of victimhood by writing yourself as the hero of your own resilience. And finally, you have destroyed the cycle of hatred by refusing to be its next carrier. There is no fanfare for this triumph, no audience cheers. The only reward is the deep, quiet hum of peace in your own chest.
the ability to look in the mirror and see someone who was forged in fire but chose not to burn others with the embers. You see someone who understood that the smartest revenge, the only revenge that doesn't corrode your soul, is a life lived incredibly well, a life of purpose on your own terms. So, let them have their pettiness, let them have their bitterness. You have claimed your peace. You have taken the poison they meant for you and, through the alchemy of Stoic wisdom, transformed it into your own unshakable strength. You are not who you were before they hurt you. You are harder to break. You are clearer in sight. You are more valuable because you now know the worth of your own peace, and you will never auction it off for the cheap thrill of revenge again. This is how you destroy those who hurt you, not by dismantling them, but by building something within yourself that is so resilient, so luminous, so fundamentally you that their shadow can no longer reach it. The story is yours now. Go and live it well.